Imagine one day you were sitting on a train and reading a book and suddenly some stranger catches your eye, as if that stranger felt so familiar that you end up talking to them and things started to unfold itself. Today's love story is called Before Sunrise, is a true story released in the year 1995. It all begins in a train in Europe, which was going from Budapest to Vienna. In the train, two local passengers were fighting who looked like married couples. A woman named Celine, who was trying to read a book, was utterly bothered by them, so she moves out of there and sits beside a handsome man. This is Jesse Wallace, an average American man. He looks at her and ends up asking if she wanted to join him on lunch, to which she says yes. Celine reveals she was going back to Paris after visiting her grandmother. Meanwhile, Jesse was going to Vienna to take his flight back to America. After they have a long talk about their dreams and goals in life, the train had come to Vienna, but it seemed like neither of them liked being apart. Not too long after, Jesse comes back and asks Celine if she could come with him for one day since his flight was a day late. To persuade her, he uses a terminology and tells her to imagine herself in 20 years with her future husband, but if she go with him now. At least she knew that she did not miss out any other opportunity to have a better husband. So she decided to go with him to spend a day and look places. While they were walking in search of some places, they started to laugh because they felt a bit awkward. Jesse began to ask two strangers about some places to see in Vienna. They end up asking what they were expecting to see, to which Celine says they were on honeymoon. Jesse also go on with the lie, but strangers knew he was a liar and laugh about it. They invite them into a small show at 9:30 that they were a part of, which was called a Bring Me the Horns of Wilmington's Cow. They take a small local minibus, while Jesse decided to ask Celine about her first romantic feeling for a person. She reveals about Jean-Marc Fleury, a swimmer with green eyes and bleached out chlorine hair, who looked like a gorgeous dolphin according to Celine. She later got to know that this guy had crush on her and they spend some time together. He even asked her out on a date, but she denied going out with him for some reason. To which Jesse tells her that he was a great swimmer too. Celine asked him out if he ever fell in love, but Jesse felt uncomfortable talking about it. He felt pretty confused as well, though he was willing to talk about romantic moments. They keep asking each other questions, including spiritual things and whatnot. They were getting to know each other very well. Both go inside a music shop and walks in a listening booth to listen to their favorite song. While the song was being played, both were looking back and forth into each other's eyes and smiling as if they were feeling shy and probably feeling butterflies. They go to a few places before reaching a famous graveyard, in which most of the people were unnamed. Celine come across the one person she remembered about, who was 13-year-old when she passed away. They finally go to a local carnival and enjoy the Ferris wheel. On a high tower, Jesse slowly walked towards Celine and hesitantly gave her a signal that he wanted to kiss her, to which she actually started kissing him and they both hug each other. Without a doubt, they had some chemistry from the beginning. At the carnival, they are dancing around, playing some games and having the time of their life. There they talk about how their parents always had problems with them. Jesse reveals his parents are divorced, but not until he and his sister were totally grown up. Meanwhile, Celine's parents were married and happy. The discussion about marriage and life goes on for a good minute until both of them decided to sit and observe people walking. He moved towards Celine to tell her a secret, but kisses her instead. Right after, a handreader woman walks towards them and decides to read her hand for mere $50. Handreader reveals that she is a seeker and adventurer, she is creative and she needs to release herself to this weird world. She reads Jesse's hand as well and tells him he was learning and she leaves. Jesse believes that handreader was just passing their time because she didn't really read his hand. They leave after Jesse makes Celine laugh and they come across a poster and calls it transitory. In their way comes a church. They go inside and sit, where Celine wonders on how a single place can cause happiness and pain in just a single place. After leaving the church, Jesse explains how he would be feeling pity for himself if he did not take this opportunity to meet her. He would probably be sitting on airport with his coffee thinking about her. To which she teased him by saying she would have gone with another guy. In about a minute, they come across the guy who was a beggar, but he makes a deal with them. They will give him a word and he will write a poetry on the specific word, so if they like the poetry, they could pay whatever amount of money they are willing to. So they give him a word milkshake and he makes the poetry. He'll read what he ended up writing for them. Daydream delusion. Limousine eyelash. Oh baby with your pretty face. Drop a tear in my wine glass. Look at those big eyes. See what you mean to me. Sweet cakes and milkshakes. I am delusion angel. I am fantasy parade. I want you to know what I think. Don't want you to guess anymore. You have no idea where I came from. We have no idea where we are going. Lodged in life like branches in the river. Flowing downstream. Caught in the current. I'll carry you. Y'all carry me. That's how it could be. Don't you know me? Don't you know me by now? Now both leaves after giving him a couple of dollars. They come across a small club where Jesse pays for him and her entrance ticket. Inside, Celine buys him a beer and they talk about their past relationship while playing a game. Celine reveals how she was disappointed by his alcoholic and dumb ex-boyfriend. When comes to Jesse's turn, he explains the whole trip to Europe was to spend time with his girlfriend, along with her 4 friends, but it did not work out and they broke up. Now they are out of the bar and continue continue their journey of endless talking. They are so into each other that their conversation seems eternal. Both come to the point of talking about babies and whatnot. They come across a street dancing show, and after enjoying it, their conversation takes a turn and they end up sitting in a location. Jesse tells her that he sometimes believes that he imagined himself to be a great father, but sometimes he would rather die knowing that he excelled in something big than being in a relationship. However, Celine says there was this man she worked for. He was 52 and spent his life on his career and life goals, but at his deathbed, he was crying that he wished he had a nice relationship with someone. Not too long after, we come across a casino where she asks if she was calling his friend, who she had dinner with next morning, where Jesse asks if he was her friend, and all the things they had done unfolds. Right after, Jesse calls his friend and he proceeds to explain how beautiful of an experience it came out to be when instead of going to airport, he met with this wonderful girl. Jesse begins to blush, along with Celine, and they end up into another location. We can see them getting closer and closer each time, and they end up kissing. Next, Jesse explains when a little baby is born, he thinks to himself that now he is looking at something, but one day this all will end. Celine suggests they will never be able to see each other again after today, but Jesse wonders why not. They both think tonight was their only night together and they happily accept it as adults. This was the only night and the hours that remains. Celine thinks it is depressing, so they say goodbye today instead of tomorrow. Both enters a bar, where Jesse reveals his situation to the bar owner, saying he wants to buy Celine a red wine, but he does not have the money. So the bar owner helps him out by giving him a bottle of red wine. They lay down in an empty park while they enjoy their wine. Jesse begins to explain how he was sick of himself, but being with her made him feel like somebody else. He only felt different when he used an external substance, like drink and stuff. Celine asks him to kiss her and they begin to almost make love, but something makes Celine stop. Jesse asks her, what if they met again, and they both start to laugh, and after a short conversation, decide to have a romantic moment. It is the next morning, both of them walking, and Jesse asks what will she do in Paris. Celine will call her parents, whereas Jesse would pick up his dog. They come across a house where a man was learning how to play piano. Jesse takes her picture in his eyes so that he does not forget her or all this, and they proceed to kiss each other. They sat on a place and realize that they missed the cows play. Right next, we can see them going ready to be apart from each other. They both are nervous but does not have words to describe the feeling. They begin to kiss and finally realize that they want to see each other. Both decide to meet each other, and 6 months from the date they left, on the same train station, it was clear they had fallen in love with each other. Jesse and Celine felt if they were empty inside. While going back to their places, they were deeply in the thoughts of each other and smiles, and the movie ends here. Like and comment below if you want to see next part of this movie. If we reach 10 comments and 20 likes, we will make the next part. See you tomorrow.